Alrighty everyone, this video is urgent. I'm telling you, this is urgent because not only do we have something massive happening in the overall market tomorrow, we have a very big stock in the small cap market that went on a run from like $7 to $25 per share, over like 500%. And we have to break down these things so that you don't make a mistake and so you don't get burned, because so many beginner traders, they see a stock like MSGM go from $7 to 25 and they just try to chase it and they try to force themselves into the play only to lose all their money and make a terrible trade. And I don't want you to do that, all right? I don't want you to do that. So I want you to stick through this video, listen to the concepts I'm going to tell you, hopefully help you avoid making terrible trading mistakes, and also talk about a stock that's like MSGM, which is still only $3 per share, right? MSGM went to 25 bucks. This stock is still at $3. So there is definitely some potential on the table. So make sure you stick through this video, get all the content that you can, and watch it as soon as possible. Usually before my videos, I take a shower, but today I said, screw it. I need to get this out ASAP so that you guys can watch it before tomorrow's market open. All right. So with that being said, let's jump into it. All right, so first off, the most important news of the day, we do have a Fed meeting tomorrow, and it's assumed that the Fed Reserve is likely going to raise interest rates again. But they are starting to see signs of inflation slow down. So the most important thing about this meeting will be the Q&A session afterwards. Are they going to talk about looking to maybe start pivoting and reducing rates in the next 2 or 3 meetings, right? That's what everyone's going to be focusing on. So if you are trading large cap stocks or options, make sure that you are aware that there is a Fed meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And there's going to be a lot of volatility, right? There's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of craziness going on. Don't get trapped on the wrong side. Now, as far as SPY and the overall market goes, I've been saying this in my Trade Buddy room for the past month now. I do think there's a chance that we have bottomed, okay? I mean, I've said this a few times before and I have been wrong, but I do think that there's a good chance that we might see a bottom here. Typically, if you go back through the history of large cap markets and the overall market, there's usually not like a specific Fed meeting that causes a bottom. There's not a specific point where the market does bottom. And it's more so just based on what you see on the chart. And I see 2 main things on the chart, actually 3 main things. So number 1, if you look at the big picture on SPY, right? You look back here, I have this circled out. This level at 350, that was a level of previous resistance. We had a big spike over the past 2 years. Now it's pulled back down and it held it as support almost perfectly. So that to me looks like great support. Number 2, on the same chart, you can kind of see a common pattern of a reversal here called an inverse head and shoulders, right? You have that left shoulder, you have that head, and then you have that right shoulder there. Number 3, if you've been on Twitter or anywhere talking about stocks, everyone's been drawing this trend line right here, right? It's been like the main dominating trend line over the market that's been causing this downtrend. And we have finally broken out through it, right? You can see it's now above it and we are holding above it. So for now at the moment, I am more positioned or more betting on calls rather than puts. I had many amazing put trades over the past year on SPY, but I'm seeing the trend shift. Now also to me, one of the main things that drives my trading and my style of trading is the psychology of knowing what the group is doing, right? Knowing what everyone else is doing. And if you look at any kind of YouTuber or anyone in this space, really, everyone's talking about the next drop, the next recession, how much lower can we go? And so if everyone's talking about that and there's so much fear of a further drop, I don't want to follow them. I want to do the opposite, right? Because the opposite is usually the right choice, right? So that's what I'm kind of thinking about SPY, but that's just the basics on SPY. Obviously, the main thing about today is MSGM. This is the stock that took the small cap world by storm. It went from $7 per share all the way to a high of $25 per share in only about a half hour. Like this thing went freaking crazy. It went up 300% in just a few candles. And so here's what I want to talk to you about, right? If you are a new trader, what you have to really kind of shift your focus on about trading is you have to stop focusing on chasing the money. And trust me, I did this for the first few years of my career. I was so focused on the money because everyone is, right? I mean, in trading, everything is based about making money, so it's hard not to. But if you look at any other career, let's say, for example, a surgeon, okay? If you want to be the best surgeon possible, you cannot go into the OR thinking about, oh man, after this surgery, I'm gonna make 100K, right? Like you can't think about that. You have to think about my goal in this OR is to perform the best surgery possible for my patient. And with trading, you have to kind of think of it and approach trading in the same way. You have to make your goal as a trader to take the best trades possible. And as a byproduct, you will make money. Just like a surgeon who does a really good job, they're going to make money and they're going to keep getting hired. But if they go into it solely focused on the monetary aspect, they're probably not going to be that good. They're probably going to mess up and they're probably going to get sued for malpractice. It's just a fact. And the same thing with trading. If you look at every stock that you missed, say, oh man, I could have made $1,000 on that. I could have made $500 on that. You're going to mess up. You're going to get into your emotions and you're going to make bad trading decisions. And you want to avoid that, okay? So I was watching MSGM today. I saw it do this big spike. And instead of being upset and thinking about, oh man, and if I just bought this breakout over $10, I could have made $15 per share. I avoided all of that, right? And even when I was consolidating here, I didn't even think about trying to buy one of these volume pushers because there was just no strategy. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I have a very specific strategy to trading and I did not want to touch it. So whenever you see a big spike like MSGM, especially in small caps, what I want you to start focusing on is, okay, I missed this one. That's fine. Let me look for a sympathy play. Something we've talked about a few times now. A sympathy play is basically a stock that is within the same sphere of industry, also a low float that is showing signs of making the same move. So if we look at MSGM here on my scans, you can see that this is a video game company. It's called Motorsports Games. And their main catalyst today was that they had a $1 million investment by some venture capitalist, okay? So, this one had a big spike. It did its crazy thing. And then there were people talking about sympathy plays. And someone in my room mentioned MGAM. So if you look at MGAM, you can see number one, it's called Mobile Global Esports. It's kind of in that same sphere of industry, right? Mobile gaming, esports, all that stuff. And they also had news. They had news that they had hired someone as a chief data officer. So it's a low float, same industry, also has a catalyst, and it hasn't moved yet. And people are like me, they're gonna look for the sympathy plays because those ones aren't crowded. Okay, so that's what I did. I looked at MGAM instead. By the time I saw it, it was just as it was doing this initial spike. And because I have so much experience and I'm just so confident with the idea of a sympathy play, I was all over this one right away. Now, it's not my standard trade. I broke it down a lot more in the Trade Buddy recap webinar I did after market close today. But basically for MGAM, I went long at 141 and I planned my max loss to be the break below $1. Mainly because there was no real chart to work off of. I just wanted to have a wide risk and just see if it could run because I had some confidence that it would. So I got long 141 and you can see it had a massive squeeze all the way to 250 per share. So from here, it was more of like my standard day trade where, okay, I'm gonna use the 5-minute chart, I'm just gonna chill out and say, as long as previous resistance can hold as new support, it is still 100% bullish. So that level was at 159, had some pullback, held VWAP, it was overall good. At this point, I had a plan to lock in my first partial into this next level at 223. It consolidated, got some volume, ran up, got my first partial. And from there, had a bigger breakout. And then at this point, I say, okay, same exact plan. As long as previous resistance, 225, can hold as new support, I'm going to keep holding this thing. And you can see, held very well there. There was no issue whatsoever. Consolidated, went for its next squeeze, and I sold my next partial in after hours, just under $3 per share at like 292. And then from there, I am still holding a small position, not that much. I did sell quite a bit through the day, but this shows the power of, number one, not being so upset if you miss a spike. Ultimately, if there is no way to trade it, then there's no reason to be upset, right? You never want to break your rules, never chase, never focus on the money. Just look for the next stock that has a good setup, right? End of the day, like I said, if you focus on making good trades with a good plan, money is the byproduct, and you have to approach trading every single day about focusing on being the best trader that you can. And if you do that, money is the byproduct. Now, if you approach trading and you look at your trades every single day and you rate them on whether you made money or lost money, you're off on the wrong path. Now, I say this from my own experience and also from the experience of teaching hundreds and hundreds of traders in Trade Buddy. All the ones who focus on the money aspect of trading and they rate their wins and losses on exact P&L, those ones have a hard time and they usually don't succeed. But the ones who go through the path of getting data-backed confidence, practicing their setup, and then approaching the market every single day with the intent of being a good trader, those are the ones that succeed for years and years and years. So that's the main lesson I want to give you guys. Don't chase, don't break your rules, don't focus on the money, focus on making great trades, and money is the byproduct. So let's say tomorrow or say overnight, we see a big spike in MSGM and it runs up and it gaps up over this line at 22.47. Say tomorrow in the pre-market, it's at like 25 or so. The main thing I would look for is that at market open, I want to see it pull back, sell off, and buy this dip. That's what I am looking for, because then there's a very good potential for there to be day 2 shorts trapped, and anyone who sold today is also trapped. And if that level can hold as support, there's no guarantee it will. It's just a trade plan for myself. If it could hold that level, we could see this do a monstrous supernova type squeeze where it runs up to 25, 30, 35 plus, who knows? Also for MGAM, right? This one had a very big spike. The main thing I'm looking for with my remainder of my shares is I want to see it hold about 260. As long as it can hold 260 tomorrow, that's where I have the most confidence with it continuing. Now it is quite extended already, right? It's up from $1 to $3.50. So don't chase it, right? There was a lot of opportunities to trade it today. Most of them are gone. If you don't see any of these trades tomorrow, then just like I said, approach the market with the goal of making good trades, focusing on trading well, and the money will be a byproduct. All right, so if you enjoyed this video and you like the way that I explain things and teach, please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button so you can see future videos. Also, I want to offer you my free 1-hour course on how to get started with trading, okay? First link down below, just sign up for it. All I need is your email to send you the course, and you're gonna learn everything from A to Z about how to get started, how to go on the right path as a trader, and it's gonna help you out immensely in your trading career, okay? If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.